Welcome to our Lanteria presentation, HR Built on the SharePoint Platform. I'll be presenting today. My name is Mike Ament, and this is the first webinar of 2019, so welcome everybody. I'm going to place everybody on mute so that I can record this presentation, and it will be available on our website or YouTube channel once we're finished. I will be able to take questions at the end of the presentation. Simply enter your questions in the chat window, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. I'll also provide you with my email address after the presentation, and you can always send me questions by email as well. All right, let's get going. First, a little bit about Lanteria. We were founded in 2006 and have clients in over 40 countries worldwide. Lanteria is a leading developer of HR resource, talent, performance, and learning management software designed specifically for the SharePoint platform. Lanteria is a mature HR solution with best practices already baked into our product. This provides you on day one with an enterprise-class solution with over 12 years of HR industry expertise. We deliver innovative, integrated solutions that include easy-to-use automated workflows, which are designed to boost our clients' productivity. Let's talk about the reasons HR professionals choose SharePoint. Number one, collaboration. Today's HR solutions are not just for HR anymore, but they're really designed for your entire company. SharePoint is a highly collaborative environment, or sometimes called a portal, which delivers or shares information between employees and their managers, as well as enabling self-service and automated processes that can free up valuable time for mission-critical work. Number two, tons of storage. With its built-in document management repository, SharePoint is a great place to store and share company policies, procedures, employee documents, and almost any other company content. Number three, personalization. It's extremely important to deliver the right content to the right people in your organization. Our role-based system allows employees and their managers or your HR team access to and also can restrict information from unauthorized users. SharePoint provides the best of both security and personalization. Number four, customization. Each company is unique with their own specific goals. Many other systems force you to align your goals with their pre-built designs. But with Lanteria and SharePoint, you can customize the system to align exactly with your business workflows. Number five, integration with Microsoft Office. It's a great benefit when your solution can be integrated with your business tools. Now imagine all your employees, your interviews, your absence, your vacation schedules, and training schedules automatically being populated to your company calendar or each employee's individual Outlook calendar. We also integrate with the full Microsoft Office suite, Power BI, and of course, Microsoft SharePoint and Lanteria are designed to work together. Number six, security. Security is absolutely critical for sensitive HR data. You can create permissions based on your employee's role or position in your organizational structure. You have very granular system-level control. And number seven, portal access anywhere. With SharePoint, you have portal access at any place or on any device, whether it's your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. We built our Lanteria HR solution on SharePoint's platform to take advantage of its ability for client customizations and, of course, its scalability. So what makes SharePoint so efficient? Here's some reasons IT professionals prefer to build on SharePoint. Number one, infrastructure. SharePoint's role in the organization is expanding as a connected portal for collaboration and information exchange. Number two, integration with Office 365. Using an Active Directory, or sometimes called AD, integration between SharePoint and Office 365 provides a single sign-on experience for your end users while providing a unified platform for IT to manage. Number three, support. SharePoint is very reliable, highly customizable, and very easy to support. Number four, customization. Each company is unique, again, with their own specific goals, and a lot of systems I run across force you to align their goals with their pre-built design. But with Lanteria and SharePoint, You can customize the system actually in-house to align exactly with your business workflows. Number 5, integration with Microsoft products. It's a great benefit when your HR solutions can be integrated with your business tools, such as Microsoft Office, Power BI, or SharePoint. And number 6, security. Security is absolutely critical for sensitive HR data. In Lanteria, you can create permissions based on your employee's role, group, or position in the organizational structure at the application level. Plus, you also have SharePoint security level positions based on SharePoint and Active Directory, which gives you very granular control of the entire system. So let's talk a little bit about management. Why does management choose SharePoint? Number 1, analytics. Making good business decisions begin with quality information presented in an easily digestible format. With our pre-built report generators, getting your executives the information that they need is a snap, and with integration with Power BI, data analytics gets even easier. Employee performance. Being able to create and monitor individual team and company goals along with KPI metrics to validate your company's overall performance plan is critical in today's busy market. Number 3, ROI. Labor costs are the number 1 reason or the number 1 business expense, and being able to reduce this cost provides a big return in productivity, automation, error reduction, compliance, employee satisfaction, and of course, retention. And while we're talking about retention, being able to retain top talent is based upon managing good communications, clear expectations, providing honest feedback, recognizing recognition for good work, and career path planning supports higher employee retainment. Number 5, increase employee satisfaction. Increased engagement, recognition, skill development, and honest evaluations all contribute to an increase in job satisfaction. And lastly, collaboration. Today's HR softwares are being used for many different purposes. Collaboration is built into our system. SharePoint provides a highly collaborative environment, which delivers or shares information between employees, their managers, as well as enabling self-service and automated processes that can free up valuable time for mission-critical work. And of course, Lanteria authenticates with Office 365 to provide a single sign-on experience for your end users to your HR portal. We support either an on-premise or a hosted SharePoint environment, complete with AD or Active Directory integration, and the experience of allowing your end users to just sign in once and have access to their Office 365 account, email, calendars, and Lanteria. Let's talk a little bit about our modules. Lanteria HR is comprised of 5 human resource modules or solutions that manage the entire life cycle of your organization's workforce. First up is our core HR. This is our human resource database that allows you to manage your company's entire organization by defining and managing relationships between departments, teams, and employees. Next up is our time and attendance. This module allows you to easily manage your company's absence policies, track employee leave, and register time spent on projects and activities. Next one, recruiting. This is a human resource solution that automates the entire recruitment process to ensure that you hire and properly onboard the best candidates. Next up is our performance management module that helps you streamline your employee performance and appraisal process, making it quicker and easier to track, quantify, and rate productivity for each employee. And lastly, our learning management system, sometimes called LMS, automates your learning and employee assessment process by planning, delivering, and measuring the results of your targeted training programs. These modules can be deployed individually or combined to create a complete HRIS solution. Okay, let's jump into the application, and we'll have a quick tour about the Lanteria dashboard. Okay, here's our main dashboard. This is what you see when you log into the system. It is a web-based application. I happen to be using Chrome today, but you can use any of the modern web browsers that you like. It works on a PC or Mac, desktop, laptop, tablet, phone. We support both Android and Apple iOS platform. The system is a role-based system, so you can create individual roles in the system. In this demo system, I have an HR administrator that can see everybody, a manager that can only see or work with information for the employees that directly report to them, and the employee who can see via self-service their own information only. You can create sub-roles and customize this based on the requirements that your organization has very granularly to give additional access to specific areas or modules that are required for that specific job requirements. The main dashboard is interactive. As I mouse over different things, flyouts will show me the individual data points. And on the left-hand side, we have activities. And these activities replace your sticky notes, your to-do list, your emails, your voicemails, and they're interactive. So I can see here that nobody's absent today. I've got 6 people pending, and 15 people are waiting for approval for their vacation requests. I've got some missing documents, 1 help desk request, and some people want to take learning courses. All of these are interactive. If I click on this link here, it'll bring up the specific documents that we're looking for. And I can quickly see here what type of documents are missing. And I can drill down into the specific details here and see which employees have not acknowledged the policy acknowledgement. Now, we send out notifications by email and also place a notification on their dashboard. So there's two levels of notifications built into the system. Okay, let's kind of touch on each of the individual modules and do a quick walkthrough here. First up is our core HR. This is our main database, and this is where we store all the employee information. On the left-hand side, there's some quick links for commonly used activities, and these will fire off processes that allow you to repeat processes, whether you want to add an employee, change a manager, start a workflow, upload a certificate. These are all quick links to make that happen. In our database, we have our main employee database. So where we store all the employee information. I can view it in many different ways. If I just click here, employee chart, it'll generate an employee level chart for me. And I can see the whole organization, who reports to who, and the reporting structure. Each of these individual boxes are interactive. So if I were to click on Megan's box here, it'll pull up Megan's card and show me all of Megan's information. And you'll notice here that this card is tied to all the modules, so I don't need to go and hunt around the system looking for data. I can look at specific learning details, performance details, compensation, enhanced details, grievances skills, contacts, company assets, general information, all within one specific screen. And these details are customizable. They're being pulled from a database, which allows you to go in and add additional fields or remove fields that aren't necessary for your organization. So again, it's very customizable based on your requirements. We can also generate the same type of view, instead providing just an org structure view of the company. It's a very visually friendly org structure. You can build your org structure here, then hit the view button, and it'll actually generate that in what they call an org chart view. And here's the org chart. So you can see the reporting structure. And again, there's little buttons here to update and make changes to the org chart. So very easy as a visual type of a chart. And here's where more of a setup option where we set up jobs and positions. Here is an approval management area where it works with all the modules for providing managers the ability to approve requests. So whether it's for time off, for a raise, for headcount increase, to take a learning course, a employee can make a request to their manager. The manager will receive that request, and they can go in, they can review the request in detail and provide comments. They can approve it, they can reject it, or they can push it back, and maybe they need more information. They can make a note. Need more information, request a change, and this will push it back to the employee, who can then update this and then finally come back for final approval. Everything is time and date stamped in the system. So when an approval is made and when approval is requested, we can track that and run reports for compliance or employee workflow purposes. Built into the system, we have automated workflows, or we call processes. These include onboarding, offboarding, and probation reviews, but the real power of Lanteria comes into play when you can create your own workflows. And here they're template-based, so again, they don't require any programming. They're designed for business users. You can create as many different types of workflows as you like. These workflows allow you to essentially start a process. This one happens when a new employee is hired, and it will begin to make actions. It will send a note to the manager to do the documentation. The employee will get notified to get their driver's license, and it will kind of go through this list here until all these steps are done. So if you have a rather lengthy process or procedures that you need to follow, this will actually go through each of these steps, making sure that nothing falls between the cracks. And as an HR administrator, you can see all the workflows that are currently underway right now, which have been completed, which are still open. And I can drill into any one of these at any time, review the process. If I need to make an update, or I can actually do this step right here. We use a simple drag and drop. I'll grab the file, bring the file over, drop it in here, and it'll then move on to the next step of the process. So again, you can see all the current workflows, and now you're not managing by separate lists or different technologies. People tell me they've gotten rid of their sticky notes, their to-do lists, and they use Lanteria for all their activities in the system. Goes through all these and nothing falls off the radar, which is great. And lastly, we have a document repository that allows you to store documents. These can be public documents, private documents, and they're organized in different categories. Essentially, these can be maybe forms employees need to fill out, or policy manuals or procedures they can go in and they can download. And there's both a public area and a private area. So employees' private data stays private, and public data can be accessed by employees anytime. They just go in, grab the document, and download it. So again, it provides self-service for the employees. So that's our main database. This is the beginning or the makeup of the system. And then from here, we can add a number of different modules to the system to add additional functionality. Our time and attendance module allows you to create an out-of-office calendar. And this will show the employees who is in the office and who is out of the office at any specific day. Today is the 25th. And everybody's at work today. So let's take a look at Monday. They'll go out and generate a report here and show me who is in the office, who's going to be out of the office on Monday, when they're going to come back to work, who their manager is, and whether they've assigned an acting person to act on their behalf when they're out of the office. The system allows you to create overall absence plans for the organization, and these can be any type of plan. I have them here listed by company. We can also do it by type of employee, exempt, non-exempt, union, non-union. And essentially, this is a plan you'll set up, and when an employee is brought on board, they'll be assigned a specific plan. Each plan has specific calculations that it will follow. You can put in different ranges, different types of special rules, sickness leave, calculations for that, different types of leaves and different types of leaves as well, so special leaves. The system does the calculations, and when the employees perform a request, this will take this into account. Let me switch real quickly to the employee view. It's a little bit easier to see here. So when an employee logs in, they can go in and they can take a look at their absences. And from here, I can see that I have 18 days available. I booked 7, and I have 11 days left. To register an absence, I simply click on the button, and then these drop downs, again, they're configurable by the type of vacations or the type of leaves that you have. Some companies have different types of leaves. I'm out of the office on site, I'm on vacation, I'm sick. And again, it's just basically a simple form that you fill out. So we fill out the form when we're leaving, when we're coming back, any notes, what type of vacation it is, who's going to be acting, save it, and it'll then push it to the system. And the same thing works for our sick leave as well. You can track how much time is available, how much time you booked, and what your overall balances are. And of course, all the details throughout the year are stored down here so you can see what's been taken and what's been approved as well. While we're here, we'll take a look at timesheets. Timesheets can be done many different ways based on how you want to track time. Some organizations just do the simple clock in and clock out. We can do that. We also can integrate with third-party time clocks and essentially read the data from the time clock directly, run reports, send the reports to manager for approval, and then send this data over to your accounting system. Some organizations prefer the employees just to type in the numbers. I worked 5 hours, and if you want, you can actually create different project lists. We'll go out and find activities for project 4. Drop those in there, put your hours in there, and then save that. So it's fairly flexible. You can kind of choose how you want to approve or work with time tracking in the system, and we can modify and customize this around your specific requirements. So you're not stuck with what we develop for you. We can kind of tweak it to meet your company needs. The compensation module, this is part of the core HR. This provides the organization with a salary sheet, allowing you to run reports and do analysis on how your organization is spending money. The sheets are fairly comprehensive, providing all the pay requirements within the organization, the base salaries, the variable salaries, basically all your fully loaded compensation can be put in here. And now you can use this with our database to run reports. We can also provide salary reviews where the managers get together and share a spreadsheet where they take a look at salary ranges and grades and set those up for the next year, including cost of living increases, things like that. We can run bonus reports, which allow you to collect information based on the performance details, run a report. This can then be sent over to accounting for processing. And finally, we can also work with ranges and grades. You can set up the ranges, set up the grades, and then do range analysis within the system. We are a multi-country, multi-currency system, so you can kind of choose whatever currencies, what areas you're looking at. And it'll run the report and show you the midpoint, above the midpoint, and below the midpoint, and of course the employees that fall within those areas as well. Salespeople always jump out of here. And that's our compensation module. Moving on, next module is our recruiting module. This allows you to track applicants, sometimes called an applicant tracking system. Again, we can set up job openings within the organization. These job openings can be taken and posted to your website. We have an application that runs on your website. It can be skinned to match your company's colors. Essentially, it just reads our database and pulls out the jobs. Applicants can come to your website or your career portal. They can learn more about a job. They can read the specific details of what the job entails as soon as it opens. They can read the job details. You can put a job description in here, and then they're invited in to make an application. You can put your legal terms here. And then this is actually a workflow, like I showed you earlier, where you can customize this workflow, collect specific information, have them upload their resume, references, answer questions. All this information is then taken from this form and brought directly into Lanteria, where you can then work with the information within the system. You can set up job questions so that all the recruiters will ask the same questions, set up specific interview stages, and then work with the candidates within the system. Notice we have some summary scoring here, so we can weight the answers the applicants provide, and I can do some stack ranking. I can see here that Bruce has a higher score than John here, so maybe Bruce would be a better candidate. I can also do batch processing. So let's say you get 100 resumes in one day. You can generate a letter to them saying, thank you for your resume. We're going to review and get back to you with a push of a button. Those letters go out. I can add people to shortlists. I can add notes, I can add files to the system, and I can schedule interviews directly out of the system itself. So now I don't have to go to my recruiters and ask them if they're free on Thursday at 2 o'clock. I can go in, add my recruiter's name here, check the scheduling assistant, which will read the Outlook calendar, and then tell me if they're free on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and I can drop an appointment right in their calendar for them very easily. All the applicant information is stored in a card very similar to our core HR. It's not linked to any of the modules because they're not really an employee at this point, but we can store candidate history, educational information. I can start a workflow process here, and I can create an employee. When I hit this Create Employee button, all the information that I've collected, all the details here, will get transferred to the core HR, and they'll become a real employee. We can also manage a candidate database of all the candidates in the system. And I can also set up interview schedules and publish that so that all the recruiters can see who's being interviewed and at what specific days. Next module up is our performance management system. This allows you to create performance reviews. set up and organize goals, work with competencies, and also do 360 feedbacks, or sometimes called a peer review process. You'll notice here that you're not limited to just your annual review anymore. You can do 90-day reviews. There's the annual. You can do mid-year. You can do project reviews. We do qualification cards, special review rounds, check-ins, checkups, coaching models. Essentially, they're template-based reviews, which you can create as many templates as you like. Once a review round is launched, as an admin, you can see how many are active, how many have been completed. I can drill down into the specific details of any review round and look at how the review is processing. We have complete metrics here and see the overall summary scores by org units in here as well. I can also drill down into the individual details of the employees in the review round and see what their summary ratings are and who's completed, who's not completed within the system itself. Let's take a look at this from the employee standpoint. So when an employee will begin their review cycle, they'll sit down with their manager and they'll work out their goals. And these goals can be set up at the overall company level, at the org unit level, and at the personal level. Once those are set, then they can be invited in to do a performance review. And in this demo system, I've got all the reviews turned on here. So let me just find one that's not being worked with. There's an annual review. So the employee will be invited in. They will then go through the review section. They can fill out their details. Add additional information. Fill out their information. And once they're finished with this, they can go ahead and they can submit that review. Once the review is submitted, it will then go on to the next step of the process to their manager and then be finalized and put into their permanent record. The employees can work with their specific competencies. They can see how their performance is doing within their organization. They can look at specific competencies. Again, they can be broken down into management, professional skills, soft skills, all the different types of competencies you want to work towards. And we can take those competencies and we can overlay them over their jobs. So in the gap analysis chart, we can just go ahead and grab that real quick. And what this will do is they'll lay their competencies over their job requirements. So job requirements are in green, employee assessments in yellow. So when the yellow covers all the green, the employee's got 100% coverage here. Let me find one that's a little bit easier to see. I'm just going to pull up Megan's card because I just finished her review with process the other day. And her gap analysis will look like this. So you can see here the job requirements and the employee assessment. So the assessment is covering these areas. So in our next cycle, we're going to work on risk assessment, standards, knowledge of company product, loyalty, risk assessment here, and organizational skills, judgment, and so flexibility and strategic thinking, writing and English are very good. So again, it allows you to do a number of different things, and this is a great chart to sit down with an employee, walk through what they're strong, where they need to work on next time, and give a little bit of career counseling or career coaching in this setting. The employees can look at their KPIs at any time they like. They can see how they're progressing towards their skills. We use a stoplight analogy, red, green, and yellow. So you can see how their performance and how they're moving toward their goals. And of course, they can then work on their overall career goals and their career pathing within the system as well. So again, they can take a look at their specific goals, add additional goals that they want to work on. And then career pathing allows them to see what's next within the organization, whether there's a promotion path or a rotation path. And again, we can do the competency analysis again, except this would be for a team lead. So the employees can see right away if they're ready to take that next step in the organization. So it's a nice tool to allow them to do some self-assessment and review where they are. Next is our learning module, sometimes called an LMS system. This allows you to create a catalog of learning, organize the learning into a curricula, publish a training schedule, issue and manage certificates, build and administer quizzes, and of course, manage training requests. Within the learning catalog, I can organize my courses by categories that I decide. I can organize it by job so employees can see jobs or see training that's specifically for their job role. I can organize it by specific competencies, and if I want to pull up the competency list, I can see what competencies and actually find trainings that match up with the competencies within the system. We support classroom-based training, e-learning courses, documents, PDFs, Word documents, videos, spreadsheets, web links to outside services, and there's a quiz in here somewhere. There we go. And our quiz builder is built in here as well. These courses can be allowed to be added automatically to a course, and employees can directly add these to their system or to their learning list. Or sometimes we have a request required, which would then send the request to their manager, and the manager would then review the request and approve this. This works really well with courses that have financial costs associated with them. So the managers want to manage their budgets or control who gets to see or who gets to take trainings based on the quarter or the time of year or their budget allocation. I can take this learning catalog and I can organize it into a curricula so that courses can be organized. Like here is a curricula for HR Part 1. It has 4 bits of learning in it. And by opening this up, by assigning this one curricula, these 3 courses and 1 quiz will be assigned to the employees. This is very handy if you do track type training. A lot of our construction companies use this for their tracks, their carpenter, electrical, plumbing, heavy equipment operators. All the courses will then be added at one time. So for the trainers, they just add a curricula, and then the employees will take the courses in that curricula. We can publish a training schedule so employees can see when trainings are going to be offered. The trainings can be set up with the specific number of seats available so that when a training class is full, the list will be closed and a wait list will be open so the employees can then be put on a wait list for the next course or next available course. We can manage and issue certificates. So depending on the type of certificate you want to issue, you can see here when it's issued, when it expires, what training materials required. When the training is completed and the employee passes with a satisfactory grade, the certificate will be automatically renewed for a period of time. If the employee fails the course, then a notification will be sent that they failed the course. Their certificate will not be reissued. We can also run reports in the system, which I'll show you a little bit later when we go into our report section, where you can run compliance reports to see who has certificates, who has not, who's passed the training, and what trainings are required. So it's a very great compliance tool. Our quiz builder allows you to create quizzes directly in the system. Last year we had some requests from our customers. They were doing some intake, and they had an intake room where they had 10 computers and 10 people taking a quiz. And one day somebody yelled out, "Hey, what's the answer number 3?" And everybody yelled out 4. And that didn't sit too well, so they asked us if we can kind of fix that. So we added a question repository, so now the quizzes could have 20 questions, but they could be assigned in a random fashion. So question 2 could be the same question, but different for everybody. That's kind of solves that grade school problem. But again, we do listen to our customer feedback, and when customers ask for modifications or enhancements or suggestions or feature requests, we take a look at those and we add them to the system. We do a number of feature requests per year and maintain that. And over the years, we've built in a lot of best practices in the system based on our customers' requirements. And finally, training requests. This is similar to the request I showed you earlier, where an employee can make a request of training, and the manager can come in, review that request, and then approve or reject that. Next module is our succession planning, which is actually part of our performance review system. We can set up career goals, career paths, build out talent pools, and do succession planning within the organization itself. And lastly, our reporting module. This allows you to create reports. We have some standardized reports that come with the system. So if I was going to build a report and let's say I want to take a look at maybe equality and diversity, it goes out and grabs the data, and we'll populate that for you. Notice we do visual representations so you can see visually what's happening within the organization itself. We also do combined reports, which allow you to visually see the data and also have a data representation as well. This data can be exported out into a spreadsheet and used for more thorough analysis. We also integrate with Power BI, which allows you to do data analytics and build additional dashboards as well. And of course, our reports are very interactive. If I go to our performance system and take a look at our competency assessment analysis, I can take a look at and generate competency assessment reports. So you can see an overall report by department. I can slice that up. Since we're sitting on a SQL database, I get to slice and dice the data. So now I can do it by specific employee. I can zero in on maybe a specific competency group, let's say leadership, and very easily find the leaders in the organization itself. If I want to drill down further, I can actually break it up and do a sub-development and look in my upper management. So who are my upper managers, have leadership skills, generate a report, and these are our leaders in upper management. So again, you can see this is a very useful tool for pulling information out of the system. Every field in the system is reportable, and since we can't think about every report you're going to need, we have a wizard built in here, which lets you generate custom reports. You just have to put in title, pick the module you want to report on, decide who's going to be able to run those reports, and then the system will actually take you through the process of building a report. So I just need to add a list, pick the fields I want, and then the system will start building the report for me. I've been told that requesting a SQL report sometimes can take several days to a week to develop. These reports you can build in about 10 minutes. And lastly, settings. The system is designed to be very easy to use. We import your data. If you ever decide to leave us, which we hope you won't, you can actually export your data. We're one of the few companies that let you easily take your data out of the system. I've heard some stories where people can't get their data out of their current system, which is unfortunate. We believe that taking care of our customers is really important. Our settings are pretty comprehensive. We have built-in integrations with DocuSign, ADP, LinkedIn Learning, Office 365, and Exchange. And we've designed a lot of features in the system. Let's say from our performance review area, we have a performance review designer. Again, no programming is required. You have your templates. You can go into our designer. You can design forms. You can edit forms. You can modify them. I can add new sections. It's just a matter of picking out the type of section I want to add in there, what type of section it's going to be, who's going to fill it in. Hit my save button, and it will then do a little bit of crunching for a minute, grab all the details and all the pieces that need to be brought in here, and it'll then add that new section to the system. And that's really all it takes. So it's very user-friendly in that area. And lastly, for the IT people, we give you full access to the back end. You can change the look of the system, change the skinning, change the logo up here. We give you full access to the SharePoint libraries or lists, and these lists can then be modified based on your specific requirements. So now, basically, I'm in SharePoint. I can modify any of these headers, change the drop-downs. Any changes I make here are then reflected in the front end of the system. So this is one of the few systems that you can go in and you can actually tweak it around your business model. We sell this to a wide variety of different types of companies, aerospace, military, accounting, legal, distribution, auto dealerships, construction companies, and they can all modify it with their specific industry terms, which makes it very flexible and very easy to adapt. Plus, unwrapping and onboarding people and essentially getting high user adoption is really prevalent with our system. It's based on the Microsoft platform. User adoption is pretty quick and pretty easy. So people tend to gravitate toward the system very easily, and utilization is very high with our customers. I have a couple more slides, and then we'll open this up for questions. So let's talk a little bit about how we work. We're very client-focused. We communicate very effectively. We have a development team of experienced HR and IT professionals We've automated complex HR processes and seamlessly integrate them into the SharePoint solution. We help our clients effectively manage their entire organization from a single unified IT platform. We're compatible with SharePoint 2013 and newer. That includes SharePoint Foundations. As a Microsoft Gold partner, we usually get the bits from Microsoft in advance of their release, so we're actually currently working on the next version of SharePoint when it's due to be released next year or the year after. We integrate with Office 365, Exchange, Active Directory, and SharePoint user profiles. We integrate with a lot of third-party systems, and we communicate via SharePoint jobs or timer jobs. We have a very flexible access and permission-based SharePoint user groups. And of course, we're compatible with all the Microsoft products, including Office, Power BI, and Office 365. A couple of quick case studies. We had a bank that deployed Lanteria as a customizable learning solution. We actually substituted or replaced 3 other systems. Their training management overhead was reduced by 50%. If you take a look at, again, we talked about costs and savings. A 50% reduction in training is a tremendously large number. We had an enterprise manufacturing company that implemented a performance review module for over 3,000 employees in just 6 weeks. That was amazing. And we have a beverage distributor who implemented 3 modules. From the total elapsed time was 2 months, but it helped reduce their overall workload, human resource team by about 21%, which again is a fairly large number. We have some more case studies on our website, lanteria.com, customer success stories. Feel free to browse over there and take a look at your leisure. Now let's take a look at some questions and answers about the individual modules, and I'm going to take a look at the chat window and start answering some questions. In the meantime, while we do that, I'll put up my contact information, my phone, and email. If you need to get a hold of me after this presentation, feel free to email, call, or write me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Let me get the chat window open over here. And see, we got chats here happening. Okay, so for the chat, let's see here. So there's a question on cost. So we license Lanteria basically on a per user, per module basis. So depending on the number of users and the number of modules that you're going to be selecting, we can calculate a price for you. If you'd like, just send me a quick note by email. I'd be happy to generate a quotation for you. I just need to know the number of employees and the number of modules that you are interested in. I can definitely generate a quote. Okay. Here's a question on Office 365. It says here, I have SharePoint Online. Will this work with that? And the answer is, unfortunately, SharePoint Online is part of an Office 360 package, which does not provide a SQL database for you. So we need to have an actual full version of SharePoint, which has the SQL database, which we use to manage the data and run reports. We are compatible with Office 365, and we can sync our data to Office 365, providing a single sign-on solution, but you still need a SharePoint server. And as a Gold partner, we have a hosted solution where we can offer you a SharePoint as part of the package, or if you have your own SharePoint on-premise, or if you're own hosting, you can do that as well. Here's one on how long does it take to implement. Typically, for a full system, we implement a Lanteria solution in about 2 to 3 months. A single module usually goes in about 3 to 4 weeks. Again, that's dependent on your organization and the number of customizations or configuration changes that you're requesting. Here's one on multi-language. Yes, Lanteria is a multi-country product. We support multi-language, multi-currency, so we can definitely support your needs there. Okay, I see some people typing. We'll give them a minute to finish their thoughts there. Okay, here's one on implementation. Can Lanteria be installed on-premise? And yes, Lanteria is designed to go on a SharePoint server. The SharePoint server can be installed on your SharePoint server at your local facility. It can be installed in a SharePoint server in the cloud. And you've got both options. If you want to host it in your own server in Rackspace or on your own internal site, you can do that as well. And again, we also offer hosting as part of our package as well. Okay, that seems like all the questions today. If there's any more questions, please feel free to send me an email. And again, this presentation will then be posted to our YouTube channel for sharing and viewing later. Thank you for your time, and have a great afternoon.